Hello everyone, what's up guys? Today I'm here with my role model. This is like, I cannot believe this day because whom I have been following on YouTube, just like because he's a real estate agent who is on YouTube, has a 50k subscribers when I started to see him. Now when I roll back 2 years, which now he's sitting on 500k subscribers and with a paycheck of 99k for just last month.
Yeah, I'm pissed it's not 100 though. Let's be real.
Man.
It's like $220 away from 100.
So that's literally
disappointed at that one.
that's literally my annual income when I was working full time. Actually, higher than my annual income. I really thank you for giving me this opportunity to sit with you. I'm really super excited to learn more your story. First of all, Graham, really appreciate a lot for your time.
Of course.
So first thing, when did you got into real estate?
18.
18.
Yeah, it was like the week I turned 18 basically is when I jumped in.
Fuck.
So that was April of 2008.
So how did people react to you when you were trying to sell or buy?
Yeah, no one really questioned it. Because at 18, you could either be 12 or you can be 25, and people just assumed because I was in that I was a lot older than I really was. And I think as long as you wear like a button-down shirt and nice pants and like reasonable shoes, people don't question your age. Everyone thinks that you're older just because you're in the business. So I never had people ask me really like, how old are you? They just all assumed that I must be like 23, 25, and they just all assumed I had experience. But I definitely stood out because there weren't that many young people selling real estate. So I was memorable, and that's what I think really helped.
So it's a good thing to be a young guy in real estate.
I think it's something that wears off over time because I found that when you're like 18 and really like working, people love to give you a chance and they treat you differently. Like you would treat like let's say a 12-year-old shows up here. You would treat that person a lot differently, and you'd almost be like, you'd want to help them out even more so than someone who comes at 40 years old. So I'm finding that like the advantages that I had when I was like 18, 19 years old are no longer there when I'm almost 30 now. So definitely you have a little window when you're young to really take advantage of it because people really do want to help you out.
Yeah. You started at 18 into real estate selling. So how was your numbers in the first year?
First, I calculated by this. The first 8 months, I was just doing leases. And I was maybe making, by then about 8 months in, I had maybe made 15 to 20,000, somewhere around there in 8 months of working every single day, probably 8 to 12 hours a day, nonstop, 15 to 20 grand from doing little leases. And that's like before my expenses. That's before paying like realtor dues and like MLS fees and all that stuff.
So probably like after everything, 10K?
Probably. Yeah, open house signs and business cards, it's probably somewhere around there. So it really wasn't much, but it was not about 9, almost 10 months in, I just ended up selling a house that was random. So the first year I actually ended up doing really well because I ended up selling a house right before the first year. And then selling another house shortly after that, and then that kind of gave me the confidence to that I can actually do it. So the first 8 months were low, but the first year overall was a decent salary, really decent. I mean, for someone who's like 18, 19 was really decent, but yeah, the first bit there was not that much.
Did you thought of like, get the hell? It's like first year you only made like 10K. Do you want to quit it?
No, never.
What made you to push yourself?
Because I always felt like I was so close. Like I would go into an open house or so. I would sit in an open house and some client would be like, I want to buy a $6 million house. And I calculate in my head, well, $6 million, 2.5% commission, that I can make, over, 100 grand there.
Wow.
So I felt like I was always really close. And I would think like, okay, well, if I sit this open house and get a $10 million buyer, that's $250,000, gross. So it would be like, 150 after splits and stuff like that. So I felt like I was always one sale away, and that can happen any day. It was almost like a gambler, where you're just like, you could scratch the lottery ticket and like, oh, this could be the one. That's kind of how I felt. So I never wanted to quit because I felt like I was one lottery ticket away from getting a big sale.
That's an awesome mindset. Many people, they just quit because they didn't make that sale or, for that year or for that month.
Yeah.
And roll back 10 years now, you have YouTube income, you have real estate cash flow from your rental properties, you have a sales that's going on, I believe. So can you throw us numbers? I know your YouTube, but just a rough number. What would you make annually now?
It depends, because sometimes I have months that are way better than others.
Average out.
It just depends if this continues.
Mm-hmm.
I would say anywhere from right now in the low end, like 50K a month,
A
to
month.
like probably 180 on the high end a month.
A month.
But it depends on the month, and
Yeah.
it depends if it's a good month or a bad month.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere between there right now, whether or not it continues. I'm hoping it continues, but
So what's the secret sauce here?
I don't think there is any secret sauce. I just enjoy what I do, and I think long term, and I really want things to last, and I really believe in making sure people are happy and making sure you don't take advantage of anyone, and offering them something that's fair. And I always want people to get more value out of me than I've got from them. So that's why I really feel like everything with the YouTube videos, like you watch a free video, sure you have to sit through some ads.
Yeah.
So, but for you spend 30 seconds sitting through an ad. Let's just say that I've spent 8 hours creating. I think that's a pretty fair balance, and you have hundreds of thousands of people that all do that. So, I make a lot of money from that, but everyone else's time compared to what they get is really small. Same thing if I sell a course. Like I will charge between 200 to 500 depending on which course it is. But I feel like if someone buys that they'll get way more than what they paid me. And my whole thing is, well, if they get more value from that, then they're going to come back to me in the future, and the long-term value of that is going to be worth it for everyone.
Yeah.
So I think of that for everything, and to me, nothing has felt like work, and nothing feels like. Sometimes it feels like work, but for the most part, I just really enjoy what I do.
So, how did you got into YouTube?
Randomly, I just always wanted to make videos. I never expected I would make money from it. But I always wanted to do it, and it just seemed like this is the next fun thing to do. So I just started uploading videos, and I basically uploaded the videos I'd want to see myself. And I noticed on YouTube, because I would watch it myself, there was a big lack of information for business and real estate and making money.
Yeah.
And I figured I want to make the content that I wish I could have seen myself. So I figured, let's teach people about stuff that I'm interested in, because I didn't have any friends to talk about this stuff with, like saving money and compound interest. And like I had no friends that would really get into that. So I figured, well, let me share this with the internet, and I found it interesting. So I figured if I find it interesting, there must be some other people that found it interesting too.
Yeah. Was there times where you just like hate being in this industry, hate being in this doing YouTube channel because of the lot of work?
Rarely. I do feel like that though. But I think it's also just a natural feeling that all of us get. Even as much as we love something, as soon as it becomes an obligation, there are days where you're just like, I do not feel like this at all. And I do wish sometimes that I can go a week without thinking about anything, without just being like, I don't care how the video does, I don't care how the algorithm does, I don't care about the comments. I can't do that. It's more of a mental thing. I still love it, but there are those days where I'm just like, I just don't feel like it. But it's the same with anything. You do anything like this enough and you'll feel like that. So I think it's part of it, and I feel like it's not. And I also just remind myself like how fortunate you are to be in this position. So, I feel like let me just push through it. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. So what's your actual why? Like why do you're already like right now, I think even if you don't sell, you don't do anything, just your YouTube will fund your lifestyle. But I see that you're coming down, like you're 2 days here at the ORAC event. That's a big thing because you're spending literally a full day here. Well, so why?
Well, why am I here? Because I'm friends with Matt and Jeff. So and I was a part of the first one. So for me, it feels like, ORAC is just as much mine as it is theirs. As weird as that is to say. So I feel like, of course I'm going to come here, and I don't get paid or anything to come here.
No, not only just the ORAC thing. What I mean, like you're pushing yourself, right? Like you're doing things even more and more better. So why?
Right now, it's because I think I have this little window where everything is going so well that I gotta take advantage of that. Because I don't know when I'm gonna get this window again, especially in social media. I feel like people come and go very quickly. And I know I have this, like the door's open, and I just gotta, take advantage of that while I can. So I figured, I may as well give this 110% while I can and put everything I have into it, and this is my shot, and I should really take it.
Man, I never thought of that. That's a really good way to look at things. Now you're riding the wave and
Yeah.
just ride it until it goes and
Oh,
just
yeah,
stick.
eventually I think the wave is going to come to shore.
Yeah.
And some people will say, well, then it becomes self-fulfilling, which is what I'm worried about, is that you think it's going to end and it will end. But it just from what I've seen from everyone, even the most famous people in the world, it seems like they have a good decade
Yeah.
where they're just, this is it, and continuing that is just very difficult. Even same with musicians.
Yep.
Actors, social media people, everybody
Yeah.
has a wave that it just, because I think it's unsustainable. I mean, to keep that level of consistency and momentum, you just physically can't do it for that long. So I think people just do it as long as they can, and they get to a point where, and there'll be a point where I 100% burn out, and I just want to step back and I did my best. So that's what I want to know looking back, that like, you know what, I did my best. I gave it all I could, and this is what I have for it.
And do you still own rental properties now? Or
Yes.
you
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. 6 of them right now.
six of them like single families or?
No, 3 single families, 2 duplexes, and a triplex.
Wow. And do they cash flow or they're just
all of them.
all of
cash
them?
flow. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So with the rental properties, are you like scaling up right now or just?
Not really. They're at a point right now where I basically just want to chill. It is a lot of work going and trying to find the right deal and renovating it. And right now, I mean, if the right deal comes up, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And I'm in a position now where I can take advantage of another one. But it's not something I really want to do at this point right now, just because it's more work. And if I'm spending work on something and time on something, I found a better ROI on YouTube at least right now. So like all my money right now, I'm kind of saving. I'm doing more passive, like index funds.
Yeah,
Something
exactly.
a lot more passive. Don't have to think about it, because my time is better spent right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
But at some point, I mean, obviously, if the right deal comes up, I'm 100% all for it.
I really like the way you look at those things, because now you have to see there will be definitely a point where if your real estate is not making enough ROI, so now your YouTube is making almost like 3 times or 4 times the ROI that you're getting from selling or from cash flow.
Right.
So that's really super important to check out yourself what's going on at the current period.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
So what's your future plans looks like?
No clue. I don't know. I have no clue, man.
I love that.
Yeah, the only thing that I want to do, my only goal so far, is I want to do the Stephan show, which is something that I want to be like the Joe Rogan show meets Dave Ramsey. I want the Stephan show. So that's and that's something too where I'm getting to the point now where I can finally say what's on my mind, and it's because before I had to be very careful, because I would be worried if I said something that's too political or something too edgy. What if that impacts my real estate agent business, and all of a sudden I don't get business because of that, or I upset somebody and that impacts it. Now I'm at a point where like if it does, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And one of the people that I really admire the most is Ben Malla in Florida. He says whatever he wants. Whatever comes to his mind, he can say it. And people are like, oh, that's just Ben. I was never at that point before, or if I said something, people would be like, Graham, I can't believe you can't say, I want to be a point where I could be like, what, now, I said it, this is all I want to have no filter.
You gain you gain that credibility now, you all your hard work that, I think you're at a point, you have right to.
Yes. So that is the plan. I want to be able to get into whatever's on my mind, whatever that might be. Talk about it freely, and hopefully people enjoy it, and I think they will.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You have that personality to give right. So what's the plans like? Do you already started that show, or
No,
is it
so
like?
part of it, I'm selling my car because I have the Lotus in the garage. So I'm
Yeah.
going to sell the Lotus, and I'm going to turn that parking spot into another set where I could start the Stephan show, and then that's just going to be because that I think is sustainable, because my main channel, me constantly creating new innovative content is there's only so I'm out of topics to talk about on real estate. There's only so many times I can say invest in real estate and this is what you need to look for.
Yeah.
Because they don't change. It's not like next year it's like, oh, some different strategies. This has been the same stuff for decades. I really
Yeah,
believe,
that's so true.
You
Yeah.
can give people the blueprints once.
Yeah.
And that's it. But what I'm realizing is that people need either the constant motivation,
Yeah.
and they want to be retold the same things. And I think that's not, because I'm the same way. You reread the books.
Yeah.
You might reread the same things, and it just kind of gets you amped up to continue it. But for me, it's just like I can't remake the same content over and over and over again, because either what happens, you get stale,
Yeah.
or you start losing the enthusiasm. Like I don't get excited anymore about making a lot of the real estate videos, because it's like I've said it. Like I've already made this video before, so like I'm gonna make it again. But in order for me to feel proud about it, I gotta make it better than the last one. How can I make it better? It's like the same thing. So now I gotta like put more time into it, but I've already done it. So the Stephan show, I think, would be, it's not gonna have a shelf life.
Yeah.
That I can just, continue doing this, not get burnt out. Every video is a little bit different. So that's kind of.
Is it like a live show or like?
No, it's gonna be like a Dave Ramsey, where it's gonna be, just here's a few hours that I'm gonna film this. It's gonna be spliced up, and we're gonna post, once a day, 10 minutes a day, and just continue that.
Awesome. I cannot wait to see that one. So on your personal side, I don't know how deep, if you don't want to answer, just don't.
I'm open, whatever you want to ask.
So
Secrets.
do you have plans for marriage anytime soon?
You know what? Honestly, like as a kid, I wanted, to get married, and I wanted, like, my plan when I was 18, I was like, I'm gonna get married at 25 and have a kid at 30, and like that's my plan. As of now, no plans for marriage. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I feel about marriage, to be completely honest. Part of it is that I've worked very hard for what I have, and I don't want it. It sounds terrible, but I don't want that taken away. And I love the concept of being with someone for your life. I love it. Like my grandparents were both like that. I totally believe in that. But I don't believe in making that a legally binding contract. I'm not sure why a contract needs to be introduced into a emotional relationship. And I don't believe any sort of contract should be done under emotion. As much as you love somebody, I would never get into business with someone that I, am like, best friends with, or someone that I love and really care about, because I think it convolutes things. So I am all for being with somebody monogamous or monogamously, or whatever you want to say, for life. I'm totally all for that. I just don't know how I feel about the concept of marriage and signing a paper saying, okay, anything we do within the marriage is now community property and is split. Because you can do a prenup, and that protects everything now, but from everything I've built up now leads to a much stronger income in the future. And I believe that, like, as much as I would trust somebody, you don't know what's going to happen. And I'm not about to do a Jeff Bezos or anything like that.
That totally makes sense. Especially you worked hard, super hard to get to this point, and but definitely I feel like you will find someone who is your soulmate.
I would love that. I would love that, and I do want kids one day, because I do need someone to manage the properties when I'm older. So like I do need a kid, and I'm gonna teach them, like, here's how you manage the property.
You wanna pass your.
Here's how you collect rent, and now I want to be 70 years old on the beach, and you better collect rent on time.
So one last question. If I'm a newbie, I consider myself, I'm just stepping into YouTube world and real estate. I got my license just 3 months ago, and I was on your panel with the real estate suggestions when you're giving tips for new agents. So now I'm asking you, what would you recommend? One thing that from your career, one thing would you recommend me, a newbie like me, to do in order to get to the point where you are?
As an agent?
Overall lifestyle.
Crap.
YouTube and real estate, both.
I say read the book, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
That's it. Just read that book and you'll be set.
Awesome.
I was give one piece of advice. That's it.
Oh, thank you so much, Graham.
Yeah, of course.
It's a pleasure having you,
course.
and I'm really looking forward to see
Awesome.
your success, and looking forward to see your show.
Awesome.